Hey mates, and welcome to Blindformers. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about Transformers Haslab LeoKiser. We're going to be talking about how to transform and combine all of the segments of LeoKiser together, and I'm going to be doing it in a verbal explanation so that way, if you don't want to crease your instruction manual, you don't have to crease your instruction manual. You can just watch my video and listen to a blind man explain it step by step. And this is a unique Transformer. There are some fun transformation parts of this guy. There's a couple annoying ones, and we'll get to those as we get to them. But for the most part, coming out of the gate, I think this is the best Haslab so far. I have enjoyed the prior Haslabs, but I don't have any, Death Cobra is the only one that I'm like, oh, I wish that would have baked a bit longer. But the rest of them are just absolutely glorious. And today I'm going to go in depth, and I have my co-host Cream the cat over here in the corner, just purring away, and being filthy again. Yeah, he's the indoor-outdoor orange cat. Orange cats, they get into stuff. They just can't help themselves. And they ask their brain, should I do this? And the brain isn't there that day. They go, okay, well, silence is a yes. So, for today, we're going to be talking about all of the parts of LeoKiser individually. We'll go over LeoZac, we'll go over Hellbat, we'll go over Skyhawk. We'll also be discussing Killbison, Jaruga, and Drillhorn, and then we'll discuss Death Cobra. And I don't know which order we're going to get into, but we'll do it in whichever order they come along. Hi, Cream. What do you want? Cream? No. This is not places for you to scratch your face. Get your face out of my mouth. All right. Good job, Cream. Yes, everybody says hello to Cream. Good cat. Oh man, I have been excited to bring you this video because it's just been a lot of fun playing with these characters over the past week. Figuring out how to talk about these characters in a way that doesn't take forever, because I can talk forever about these figures. I really enjoy them. For size comparisons, I have the Constructicons over here in their vehicle modes so that we can compare Constructicons together and kind of get an idea of the different vehicle types, because the Constructicons are also a 6-member combiner team. 7 if you include Grapple. Is it Grapple? Hauler. 7 if you include Hauler. Which I include Hauler, because Hauler's over here amongst them. Because, why not put Hauler amongst his old friends, Anyway, without further ado, let's get started on this. And we've got these two guys up here on the stands, and the reason they're up here on the stand, other than to save room on the table, is so that I can explain to you how to put the flying characters on the stands. So, who are you? You're Skyhawk, right? No. You're LeoZac. So LeoZac is an F-14, and the neat thing about the F-14 is it had adjustable wings. That was kind of the big thing for that aircraft. So it could fit on aircraft carriers better, and it also could close the wings up to get that delta look, which could increase its speed, or it could fold the wings out for better maneuverability and better control, but a slower speed. And I think it's really cool that LeoZac here included the wing gimmick that the F-14 had, because that's definitely a fun gimmick of that plane, and that is really neat that they included that on him. I just wanted to point that out. So LeoZac's F-14 mode, if you flip him on around here to the underside, you'll find that down here towards where the jets would be for the plane, there is this area around his knee section that has these two little little cuts in the plastic that raised up and moved over at a right angle, and they're just this slide. And if you feel at the top of the stand, you get this piece that sticks out that has the little shelves on either side of it, and that piece slides onto those little connectors. So you can slide it on any way you want. You can slide him on in the reverse way, and the slide on the stand actually has a plastic stopper, so you can't go too far back. So you could point him with his nose kind of going in that direction, or you can take him off the slide, turn him around 180 degrees and put him back on the slide, and now he's going in the opposite direction. It doesn't have as much control as I would like. Like, I would have liked there to have been some tilt in here so that we could get these guys looking cool in different ways, and for some reason it's not wanting to do it that way. Oh, because the legs halfway came apart. Always remember to make sure your legs are squoze together before doing this. Let's go ahead and slide him on to show how he slides on the other way. There it goes. So either way is good. And though, like I said, I wish there was a joint in this stand so that you could tilt him going up and tilt him going back, but you can kind of do that with how it fits into the plastic here, so you can tilt the actual stand piece backwards a bit to give him a nice angle, but it's not very stable. So that's the negative on the stand with that. So let's go ahead and push that down and pull off LeoZac from the stand. Okay. Now, in the stand, I also have this little piece. There's the stand has two rectangles cut out of it so that you can put the this little arm either at the front of the triangle or the fat part, the rear of the triangle. That arm can go in either spot. Now, this little piece that you get, and that I was curious about on the box opening, it's a little rectangular piece. It's got two pegs on it, and it's got a little hole, little siege port on the side of it. And what this does is we're going to take LeoZac off the stand, which I already did. Now, you find that little spot with the hole, the siege port, and you find the little siege pegs sitting on the top of the stand arm, and then they just kind of slide together. And this is actually going to allow you to put LeoZac or LeoKiser on the stand arm when you assemble LeoKiser. So we're going to set that piece off to the side. We're also going to go ahead and take off the stand arm and set that piece off to the side with it. So let's go ahead and connect these together, because as a blind person, I don't want to lose things. And this seems like a little bitty thing that's easy to lose. So we'll attach it to the arm to make it harder for me to misplace. It's easier to find that arm than it is anything else. Now, before we get into the transformations for this, I'll discuss real quick how to put the accessories that come with LeoKiser onto the bottom of the stand. If you feel in the bottom of your stand, you'll find that there's two very long areas, and they each can hold one of these sticks. So each of these stands will hold two of the spears and two of the nunchuck things. So we feel on this area where you just pick the stick out of, you got a little kind of cut in the plastic, a C cut at the top near the point of the triangle, and then you drag your finger down, you'll see there's a cut in the waffling, there's a U cut in the plastic, and then down here at the bottom there's another C kind of cut. And what this does is you put one end into the C cut, you put the other end of the C cut, and then that U cut just kind of allows the bar to rest there, and that's how you put the handle for the spear. Now the spear tips go in their own little spots. Remember in the box opening I discussed how each of these spear tips has a little rectangle piece on the back side of it, and we can pull this out. So there's a little rectangular peg on the back side of the spear, and I do wish that instead of doing a rectangular peg they had done a peg hole, and they'd put the rectangular peg into the stand so we didn't have this peg ruining our spear. But if you're in the stand area, you'll find that there's a very odd kind of square area that has a rectangular peg hole in it, and it's just this big rectangular box that kind of comes out the bottom of the underside of the stand, and it's got a little port on the end of it, and we're just going to put the point of this facing through the cut in the plastic, because there's a little cut in the plastic, and we just got to line up that peg with that peg hole, and there it is, and that's how we hold it in place. It's not bad. I think that's a really neat way to hold the spear tip in place. Now, when you're feeling in here, you'll find that there are some siege pegs sitting at the bottom of this stand. Let me pull this guy out. Now, I made a big mistake, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. There are shuriken that come with this, and they have a little hole in them. They have a siege port in them. But you may think, oh, I'll put it on this peg down here deeper into the stand. You don't want to do that. That peg is for the nunchuck piece. It's got a 5mm port on it, a siege port on it, and that fits into those pegs down there in this bottom area. Where you want, let's get that piece out and reconnect it. So it's easy to connect them to those spots. There's 4 of these pegs visible on the back of each stand, and they're right next to each other. At least 2 of them are next to each other, and then you have another 2 over here. And those are what you put the nunchucks into. Now the shuriken in this stand will hold 2 shuriken, 1 for each of the spears. They go on these siege pegs that come up from the bottom and go almost all the way to the top. Let me pull this little one off. Hopefully I don't sling it across. I'm trying not to sling it across my studio. Good. Okay. There is a peg right there. And it's on each side. The longest side of the triangles where you'll find the 2 pegs for the shuriken. And there's 1 on each side, on the other side of where these bars clip in the handles for the spears. And the shuriken just fits on that little peg. Nice and neat. And that is how you put all the weapon pieces on the underside of this stand. And doing that makes the stand heavier, which is really nice because you want a little extra stability with these guys. So I'm going to set the stand off to the side, and we're going to also grab Guy Hawk off his stand over here. Just pull him off. There we go. Come on, Guy Hawk. Oh, Guy Hawk. All right, he was backwards. So we're going to set Guy Hawk down, and we're going to set this stand over here with the other 2 pieces of stand. And we got all 3 of our stand pieces together now. Now, let's talk about the figures, all 6 of them. We're going to break them down, and doing that means we're going to move the hip piece over here, and we're going to move the jet guys over here next to Cream. Cream, hang on to the jet guys, and we're going to talk about, helicopter guy, you can go over here. So Death Cobra, Leo Zach, Guy Hawk, and Hellbat can all live together over here. For right now, we want to talk about Jaruga. Where are you at, Jaruga? Here's Jaruga, right? No, you're not Jaruga. You're Killbison. And here's Jaruga. Okay, so we got Drillhorn, Killbison, and Jaruga all lined up. And they are some really fun transformations, so we'll get into those transformations first. I also want to state that my head, I always think, since I've gotten him, I'm just like, Killbison, you're just a Buffalo Soldier. And that stupid song, Buffalo Soldier, keeps playing in my head whenever I'm messing around with Killbison. Okay, so let's move Killbison and Jaruga off to the side, and I'll discuss how to transform Drillhorn. Because Drillhorn and Killbison both have similar transformations, but there are differences between the 2, and I really appreciate the fact that there are slight differences between the 2. It's not an exact copy. It's kind of like Mixmaster and Scrapper, where there's similar things, but there's also very different things. Before I transform him, let's look at that real quick. Where are my legs? I need, because I want to compare Mixmaster and Scrapper. Let's see, Mixmaster, where you at? No, that's Death Cobra. That you? No, that's Hook. Here's the Mixmaster. Okay, so we got Mixmaster here. And we need the other leg. Where's the other leg at? Come on. Come on now. Here you are. Come on, Scrapper. All right. And we got Scrapper. So let's compare leg sections real quick. So we've got Drillhorn and Mixmaster over here, because I think they're going to be the same leg, aren't they? Let's see, Drillhorn makes left foot. Yeah, so Drillhorn and Mixmaster together make up 1 foot, and Killbison and Scrapper make up the other foot. So Killbison and Scrapper, y'all go over here real quick. Let's take a look at Drillhorn compared to Mixmaster. For one, Drillhorn's drill makes himself longer than Mixmaster, though bumper to bumper, Mixmaster and Drillhorn are the same length. The horn just gives him a little extra oomph. Height-wise, if you take away the mixing area for Mixmaster and you take away nothing for Drillhorn, Drillhorn wins in the height department, because all Mixmaster has at his height is this mixing drum. But we put him into the back area and we see that the fins on the back of Drillhorn are taller than Mixmaster. Weight-wise, they're actually about the same weight. They are very similar in weight. Though Drillhorn here, I think, is a bit more balanced in the weight department, just a little bit back heavy. Yeah, but that's okay. I want him to be a little more back heavy than front heavy, and it's hard to... There it goes. So that's the balance point for Drillhorn. It's basically in the center. The balance point for Mixmaster here is more towards the front or the rear. There we go. Yep. So it's about there for him. So it's about in the same department for both of them. Let's take a look. Yeah. Mixmaster's balance point is further to the rear of the vehicle than Drillhorn. Drillhorn's almost exactly in the center, which is really nice. But weight-wise, they're about the same. Length-wise, they're about the same. Height-wise, Drillhorn wins. And width-wise, Drillhorn wins. Drillhorn wins a lot on the width, okay? And that's a Mixmaster, which is a good modern-day Voyager, Drillhorn. So Drillhorn, I'm stating, is definitely in the Voyager class point. So I'm going to select Mixmaster off to the side, and let's go over how to transform Drillhorn. So to transform Drillhorn, your first thing you want to do is pull his drill backwards. So just grab his drill and pull it backwards. Then you want to come down here to his legs and pull these back fins. So these back fin area has a little socket. So drag your finger down, and you'll find that there's a little, cave right before his fin area. So if you find the fin and you drag your finger all the way down to where it goes into that cliff area, there's actually kind of a cave back there. And that is where you pull. So you pull on both of those, and that unlocks the legs. So then you can pull the legs out from either side. So we can pull them on either side, and that unlocks the hands because, and I'll discuss this real quick, the hands have to be rotated so that the port on the hand is sticking sideways. Because inside of this leg assembly that we just unfolded to the side that has one of the treads on it, there is this peg that sticks in there out, and the hand goes right into that peg. Now I'll show you real quick. Boom! And it's just that easy. Okay, that shows some good construction right there. That is some well done engineering. There's no pushing necessary, there's no pulling necessary, there's no grunting. It just folds in place perfectly. I love that aspect of this. It makes it so much simpler. So let's go ahead and fold down each of those sides, and then we're going to kind of wiggle and pull as we're going to pull the legs of this guy upwards. So we're just going to kind of wiggle and pull and get him to stand up straighter. Put your finger in to the gap on the side of the legs and kind of help that bar push up. Do it on the other side. Let's grab that little bar that's down there and push that up all the way. And that should do us. We should have some good knees, and when we transform this back, it's actually going to be locked in. So go ahead and do that now. Fold in the sides, fold down the backs, and you heard those clicks. Let's listen to them one more time. There it goes. There it goes. So I love it when they do this. I love those clicks. Okay, then pull the legs apart. Here it goes. Then come around here to the front of the leg and pull these feet down. You can find the feet by looking for the indentations, and they're on the underside of the vehicle mode. So each of the feet gets pulled down. Then you come up here to the arms and go ahead and bend them at the elbow, and don't pull the hand out like I just did. You don't want to do that. That's not how you transform him. Let's put the hand back real quick. Nuts. Crap, where did that go? Okay, found the hand. Crisis averted. Let's put the hand back and not break anything this time. There it goes. Hand is in there. Be careful for these hands because they do have a tendency to fall out. I think that there needed to be a panel back here to help keep that hand in place. So that's just a small nitpick though. Pull out the other side, rotate the treads for the front backwards, revealing the caster wheel. I know, a little bit of annoyance there revealing the caster wheel, but you'll be okay. You'll be all right. You're not really going to have them in this mode very often, are you? Now rotate the head. Come up around here to the head and rotate the head 100. Come on, head, rotate. Rotate, head. There it goes. All right, those are some stiff heads. Phrasing. Here we go. That is Drillhorn. He's not bad. His transformation is not that bad at all. I like how it is simple yet intuitive. He's not a transformation that's going to bother you too much. This is a decent transformation. It's a fun one to do. It's simple, and that is something that I want more complicated transformations, and I was really hoping for more complicated transformations, but this transformation's decent, and I'm going to give this transformation an A category. Yeah. Drillhorn gets an A because this is a good transformation. It's intuitive and fun. It's not complicated, but it's the other two, and that's nice. So we're going to set Drillhorn over here so that he's out of the way, and let's take a look at Killbison, because Killbison transforms slightly different than Drillhorn. So first, take off Killbison's guns, come around here to his the front of the vehicle mode, which I think that's the front of the vehicle mode. It's hard to figure out which side is the front for Drillhorn here, but I figure the big old blocky side here that feels like it's got an engine inside it and stuff is the rear, and then this side that just kind of is raised up. Actually, no, the raised up side could be the rear because that doesn't seem like it's very armored. The front is very armored. So I'm going to go with the front being the heavily armored one and the rear being the less armored one. Anyway, come around here to the rear of the vehicle that we just declared as the rear and pull this piece up. So he's got this entire part that kind of raises up, and it's got some vents in it. I love having some vent action. I wish those vents had more vents inside of them so we could get that fun noise when you drag your finger across vents, but it's okay. He'll pull that piece up, and we're going to reveal his head is folded up inside of that piece. So we can go ahead and fold the head out, and we can go ahead and fold that piece back in. But let's not lock it down yet, because we're going to have to pull these arms out. So come around here to the other side of the vehicle mode from where the head just folded out from, and find the little caves, just like with Drillhorn, and pull the top of the vehicle up on each leg. And then come around here to the sides and pull the treads out on either side. Then we're going to wiggle the arm a bit. And for Bison, another difference than Drillhorn is instead of flipping the treads backwards, the treads are going to turn 90 degrees on each side and kind of act as big old shoulder pauldrons. And I think that's fun. So rotate the hand so that the back of the fist is facing the right way and the thumb is facing up. Rotate the hand so the thumb is facing up. There we go. Head is folded in there. There we are. Now let's go ahead and fold these legs down. Go ahead and pull them apart too if we can. And we'll fold them down, then pull them apart. So just pull the robot away. Reach your finger in there and push those little bar hinges up all the way. Now we can go ahead and close the sides and then close the backs. This guy doesn't snap as well as Drillhorn. He doesn't have as satisfying of a snap, but he still snaps. Then pull the legs apart, come down here to the front of the legs, and pull his little toesy-woesies down. So there's the first toe, and there's the second toe. And he's got toe tilt. He doesn't really have full foot tilt. He doesn't have ankle tilt. He's just got some toe tilt. But that's okay. He's Killbison. He is not really a limber guy. He's very, very blocky. So you can have him hold his crazy gun, so he can put it in his hand. So there you go. He can kind of wield it, but his arms aren't long enough to wield it, and that tank tread on his shoulder does make it very difficult for him to wield his own tank cannon in his hand. And this is another one of those parts where I was like, oh, why didn't they do this? Because it would have been so cool if they had. It would have been neat if there was a place to plug the tank cannon in above his head so that he could have a cannon above his head, or at least plug it in closer to the rear so that these cannon arms could actually go over his shoulders. Because I like it whenever a robot's got crazy awesome cannons going over his shoulders. I just think it's a lot of fun. But we are just going to plug that turret back into the same spot as before. Now, if you don't want the back of his head, his head flap thing to be so flappy, you can work to push in these 2 points. There's a peg on each side, and there's siege pegs, and then there's siege ports, and they just kind of flow in together, and they will connect, and it will be a very tight connection, and it's a little hard to get out. So since today I'm doing so many transformations for these guys, I'm not making this connection solid, because it's just going to make it more difficult for me to pull it out later. Phrasing. And we're going to move him over here to the side. And actually, before we do, I've got somebody over here I wanted to compare him to, because luckily we have another tank that is part of a combiner. Let me figure out where he went. Here he is. Here's our tank combiner piece. Now we get to compare Brawn, or is it Brawl, to Killbison here. So Killbison and him are both tanks. Killbison and him are both fearsome. So we're going to raise your turret pieces up, Brawl, and lower your arms so that we can really get a good idea of who wins on the tank front here. Who is the taller tank? And that means that you're going to have to lower your crazy treads so that we can get an accurate measurement, because your treads are bumping into our Combaticon here. All right, putting them face to face, we get that Brawl here. Or is it Brawn? I think it's Brawl. He goes to just about halfway up the head of Killbison. So, boom. Yeah. All the way to the crest. Right below the crest on Killbison's helmet. Shoulder-wise, they both have about the same shoulders, but Killbison's shoulders are slightly taller. Weight-wise, they are actually, Killbison wins in the weight department. Brawl is a weighty guy, but Killbison is the heavier Transformer. I just wanted to do that little comparison because people talk about Voyager stuff, and many people were wondering, about the height of the Transformers from LeoKiser, and if that was really going to be, worth the money kind of thing. So let's find our Bumblebee to compare him to this real quick, because both Killbison and Drillhorn are the same height. Here's our Bumblebee. The top of Bumblebee's head goes to this little circle thing in the center of Killbison's chest. Actually, that little circle thing is part of the Bison chest armor. So that's pretty neat. There it is. And then a little side-by-side comparison. Killbison can put his arm around Bumblebee's shoulders, and then you go whack the Bumblebee. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. So that is Killbison. Fun little Transformer. For Killbison's transformation, I'm also going to give him an A. I think his transformation is better than Drillhorn's, though. So we're going to move his transformation, just transform himself over here with the flying vehicles for now. You're just going to live over there. And let's bring in Jaruga, which is the best vehicle mode transformation. But before we talk about how to transform Jaruga, let's discuss how to put this thing on Jaruga. So you want to move these the wheels that come with the thighs. You want to make sure that they're kind of moving around, and they're going to go facing where the thigh ends. So you want to make sure the wheels are going in the direction where the thighs kind of have a hollow section for their connection ports. Next step, get your Jaruga, rotate him around, feel his back area where his missiles are, and you'll find that there's two cuts in the plastic on each side, and they make a nice little slide piece. So we're just going to find that section in this piece right here, and we totally put those wheels in the wrong place, but it's okay. Just rotate them around a bit so that they're resting on the skirt or below the skirt. But you'll find the skirt for the Transformer, and then you'll find this little solid section. It acts as a bumper, and then inside that area you'll find the two sliding pieces of plastic, and you just kind of line it up and slide it on. Just line it up and slide. This is going to take a second. Sometimes it's obstinate. We just got to work at it. So line it up, line it up and slide it on. Come on. Okay. I was lining it up in the wrong spot. I forget. Okay. Lining it up. Hey, come on now. Oh, it'd help if I was doing it the correct way. Whatever, I had it backwards. Blind people problems. Alright, so we're going to line it up and slide it on in the correct manner. There it goes. Not too difficult. And that's actually going to... There it goes. And then we have the little missile tips are going to be sticking out. And then you lower the wheels on the thighs down so that he is fully connected. Now, for size comparison, now that we have him fully connected, we're going to move some stuff around, and we're going to drag in our wonderful friend here, Mr. Longhaul. And one of the Devastator pieces fell off, so let's go ahead and fix that real quick. All right, I'm just going to slip on this Devastator piece onto the side. There it goes. Nice. Okay, so Longhaul, who is carrying, Devastator things. He's also got his little trailer, which is the thighs. So let's go ahead and compare the two midsection people. So Jaruga's in the front and Longhaul's in the back. Longhaul plus his trailer. We're going to put his front bumper and Jaruga's front bumper right next to each other, and Longhaul wins in the length department. Height-wise, though, Jaruga wins because he's kind of carrying the thighs on his back, where Longhaul is dragging the thighs behind him. There's a big difference there. I think that makes Jaruga the stronger of the two because he has to carry it all on his back, where Longhaul just gets to pull it in a nice little trailer mode. I do like the trailer mode for that, and I wish that they had done something a little better with LeoKiser's thighs here to make them look more like missiles. I think that would have been really cool, and I am kind of sad that we don't have that happen here, where it isn't like with Devastator's rear legs that fold over and become this big old trailer thing that can be pulled by Longhaul. I think that's awesome. I wish the connector was similar to the connector for Optimus Prime's trailer. That way you could have other semi-truck characters pulling the thighs of Devastator around. I think that would have been really cool. A missed opportunity there. And I think a missed opportunity here is having some sort of skirt that covers these thighs to hide them a bit better. But weight-wise, including the thighs, it's actually going to go to Longhaul and Devastator thighs over Jaruga and Devastator thighs. The Longhaul and the Constructicons are made with, in my opinion, a better plastic. It's a heavier plastic, it's a shinier, slicker plastic, and these guys are made with more of that. It's also a decent plastic, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the same feel as the plastic from the Constructicons. So let's go ahead and move Longhaul backwards and park him away with his little trailer. And let's go ahead and take off these hips for LeoKiser. Come on, hips. There it goes. Set the hips off to the side. Now, Jaruga here isn't a bad transformation. First step with Jaruga and transforming him is you want to take his missile pods out of these little siege ports that are on the bottoms of his feet, or actually the tops of his feet. So that is the top of his feet. So he comes with two little missile pods. Each has two missiles. Now the tops of his feet get folded upwards, and those are his toes. Then we're going to fold him backwards. His legs are going to fold backwards after we move his arms forwards. So disconnect each of his arms from the sides. They move forwards, and then we can actually roach in here and pull down his little hands. So go ahead and rotate them at the elbow there, and fold back this top bit here. So his vehicle kind of bit gets folded back. There it goes. Oh, wrong way for those arms. Go ahead and rotate them around the other way. There it goes. And rotate that arm around the other way so that the front of him, the front of the robot mode is always the chest plate area. And then we're going to rotate the head 180 degrees after we fold back the top of the vehicle mode. And that's actually going to lock in place pretty well. Then we're going to come down here and finish folding these legs out. There they go. They have a really cool connector that connects on the back area of his thigh, not of his crotch area. That's a really good connection, and it's solid. It's really nice. But we fold down his legs, and then we part the legs, and there's not much more on the transformation with him. He's got one of the weakest transformations out of the entire set. Some people really like him online because of the way he looks and stuff, and I'm just like, but your transformation is weak, bro. It's a weak transformation. It's very simple. It's not very complicated at all. So I'm going to have to give his transformation a B. I think that his transformation could have been a lot better. But to finish the transformation up, we're going to take his little missile pods, and then we're going to pull a Zaku 2. I think this is the F series of Zaku 2 that has missile pods on its ankles. Yay, missile pods on the ankles. But the Zaku 2 had 3 of them, and this guy only has 2 on each ankle. But that is Jaruga transformed. And they didn't do anything special with the thighs. I think it'd been cool if the thighs had the ability to transform into something neat. You know, moving that thigh sideways over there, moving that thigh that way, and then lowering each of these kind of wheels down and doing something with it. You know, it would have been neat if there was a little bit of a transformation to kind of make it into a missile structure. You know, you could have transformed the this guy around and put the wheels in such a way that it flattened it down, and then you could have had a piece that folds over, or even just a parts forming piece that slipped in there. And then, there, you would have had a little missile platform, a SAM site, if you will, surface-to-air missiles. I think it would have been cool if they had figured out a way to make that into a SAM site. And also, when it comes to this guy's robot mode, I like Drillhorn, I like Killbison. It's these wheels on this guy's thighs that bother me. I wish the wheels did something else other than just sit there and kind of be a little annoying. Other than that, also, this is their first dune buggy they've done without PVC wheels. And really, alright, I'm calling you out now, Evan. Why no PVC wheels on Jaruga? I really liked my PVC wheels. Anyway, I think this video has gone on long enough. So I've discussed Jaruga, and I've discussed Killbison, and I've discussed Drillhorn, and I've also shown you how to assemble your stand. I think that's a pretty good first video for the Haslab LeoKiser. Please tune in next Prime, where we're going to talk about all 4 of the vehicles that fly. We're going to discuss them, and then either we're going to do it that video or the next one, we're going to discuss how to combine all of these parts and pieces into LeoKiser, because I am so excited to bring you the LeoKiser. He's just so cool. He is so cool. And where is my zapper? There it is. All right. Tune in next Prime as I go over this extremely exciting and fun Haslab. I am so happy that I backed this, and I am so happy I went to MegaCon and got to witness its worldwide premiere. Until next Prime, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.